Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of the West Coast program Calling All Cars, as it was originally broadcast January 13th, 1939, the Silver Cord. And we thank you for tuning in on this Sure Happy It's Thursday, 13th day of January. This is the it's the 13th day of the year. We have 353 days remaining until we get to 2023. The Great Fire of New Orleans began on this date in 1830. In 1847, the Treaty of Cahuenga ended the Mexican-American War in California. In 1938, the Church of England accepted the theory of evolution. In World War II, the first use of an aircraft ejection seat by a German test pilot in 1942. And in 1966, Robert C. Weber became the first African-American cabinet member by being appointed the U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development.
After looking over these potential candidates, after carefully reviewing the proposed operations of the department, its functions as well as its organization, I came to the conclusion that the man for this job is Mr. Robert Weber. No man's going to have a more difficult or a more challenging job. No man's going to be better able to leave a mark on the generation of Americans to come than the man who takes on this very vital undertaking.
Weber would serve until 1968. He died in 1997. It was on this date in 1968 Johnny Cash performed live at Folsom Prison. That generated the record album The Folsom Prison Blues. L. Douglas Wilder became the first elected African-American governor on this date in 1990 in Virginia. Japan apologized for forcing Korean women into sexual slavery during World War II back in 1992. A wild fox wandered into the Supreme Court building on this date in 2002, evaded capture for more than a day, that despite being spotted by a police officer and observed on video cameras. And in 2018, a false emergency alert warning of an impending missile strike in Hawaii caused widespread panic in the state. Passing away on this date in history, composer Stephen Foster, lawman Wyatt Earp. I'm indirectly named after Wyatt Earp. I'm actually named after the person who played him on television, Hugh O'Brian. Yeah, my mom had a thing for Hugh O'Brian, and she didn't want to name me Hugh, so she named me Wyatt. My dad said, well, it's a Western name, so, we were in Kansas at the time, so. Anyway, passing away on this date, as I said, Wyatt Earp, also writer James Joyce, comedian Ernie Kovacs, taken from us way too soon. Also Vice President Hubert Humphrey, musician Donny Hathaway, Teddy Pendergrast, and Jaime from Get Smart, Dick Gautier, all passing away on this date. This is the birth date of the last of the Red Hot Mamas, Sophie Tucker, actor Jeff Morrow, actor Robert Stack, Gwen Verdon, the fine actress and singer, Liz Anderson, Charles Nelson Riley, Rip Taylor, who was such a delightful man. I got to meet him many times. We had him on a show I was producing at the time in Las Vegas, and there was nothing funnier than when Rip would get frustrated and want to get bigger laughs, and he'd take his toupee off. I mean, it was hilarious. Also, television executive Brandon Tartikoff. This is the birth date number 79 for Night Court's Richard Mall. And you wouldn't recognize him today because he's got a full beard and he's got a full head of hair. Also, actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus is 61. Country's Trace Atkins is 60. From Grey's Anatomy, Patrick Dempsey is 56. A couple of Baywatch beauties celebrating birthdays today. Tracy Bingham is 54. Nicole Eggert is 50. From Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Orlando Bloom, 45, and from the Hunger Games, Liam Hemsworth is 32. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 13th day of January as their birthday. If this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say...
Happy birthday to you.
And from 83 years ago today, January 13th, 1939, calling all cars on this Thursday edition of Classic Radio Theater.
Oh, come on, I hate you. You have no right to speak to me. You're stupid, you're evil. You believe in your God, guns, and gold. You shouldn't have the right to vote. We must fix this disgusting country now. We want socialism now.
Whoa there, little fella. Our U.S. Constitution protects your right to say these things, even if they are drivel.
Our founders believed in our inalienable rights granted by God, not some mafia. Our Bill of Rights protects your personal freedoms, your absolute right to speak to others, whether loving and kind or hateful and stupid.
Utopia doesn't exist. It only destroys. Millions of innocents slaughtered by the communists in Cambodia, China, and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
And millions of people were gassed by Hitler's National Socialist Party.
Where do you stand? Help us save the Constitution and restore our American dream. Go to SaveMyFreedom.com. That's SaveMyFreedom.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. Without any ado, the West Coast program, Calling All Cars, sponsored by a West Coast gasoline distributor. And we'll hear that all talked about here. January 13th, 1939.
Calling All Cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Santa Monica Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 268 regarding a disturbance at the Seaside Club. Investigate the trouble. That's all. Rolls
Most of us find it difficult to completely divorce ourselves from the superstitions of our forefathers. Each has his own pet superstition. Whether it's hesitance to walk under a ladder, an uncomfortable feeling when a black cat crosses our path, spilling salt, or today, Friday the 13th. But friends, sane reasoning and not superstition has persuaded tens of thousands of Western motorists to try Realube motor oil. And actual experience has caused them to stop their experimenting with lubricants right there. For this rugged and ready, smooth and resilient motor oil is the answer to every motorist's question,
how can I get maximum protection in all kinds of weather?
Realube is the answer, as so many of you have discovered, because no engine heat can break it down. Because even the most severe cold weather cannot retard the quick, easy flow of this pure, 100% paraffin-based motor oil. And because Realube is kept pure, undiluted, and untainted by airtight, sealed, dirt-proof containers. That means you know what you're getting. That you're getting exactly what you pay for, and for that reason, we know one trial, and you're a Realube user for life. Of course, if some still insist on feeding a superstition, just because this is Friday the 13th, they might observe that there are 7 letters in the name Realube, and 7 words in the phrase which describes it. Finest motor oil sold in the West. The story we are to hear tonight has been taken from the confidential files of the Police Department of Santa Monica, and we have therefore asked Chief of Police Charles L. Dice to open our program.
The purpose of calling all cars is, as you all know, to prove that crime does not pay. The program, over a period of more than 5 years, consistently dwelled upon that theme, showing by the amount of police work done in a variety of cases that regardless of the cleverness of a criminal, he never wins. Tonight's story is not the story of police work, but the story of a woman who thought her solution to her problem was the only solution, the best one. She found to her sorrow that such was not the case, and that irrespective of how strong a motive might dictate a crime, the unprofitableness of crime is still too great to ever make it worthwhile as a solution to any problem. This woman made no attempt to conceal her crime, and the police work involved was of little consequence. Nevertheless, her story will prove that crime of any sort does not pay.
This is a story of a woman in love. The story of a woman who could not meet life as she found it, but strove to transform life's realities with the colors of her dreams.
What time will we get there, Harry?
About a quarter of an hour, maybe a half.
Ensenada. Ensenada, Mexico. Baja California. Beautiful words, aren't they? Ensenada's a beautiful word. Spanish.
Oh, sure. But not half as beautiful as you are. You scared?
About being married to you?
Yeah.
No, Harry, I'm not afraid. All my life, through those long, weary years, I've longed for someone like you. Someone to be kind to me. Gentle.
Go on, Helen. I like to hear you say things like that. It does things to me.
Oh. Married at Ensenada. Helen Wild. Helen Amor. Oh, dear God, be good to me. Let me find peace at last after these years. Oh, I love you so much.
Helen.
Harry, watch the road.
Oh, yeah, I better. Gee, but you sure do things to me.
Married in Ensenada. Blissful days of secret companionship because Harry wanted it that way. Then the reality of her relationship with the man she had married forced itself into the dream world she had created.
You can't talk that way about my mother.
I will talk about her any way I please. I'd gladly see her hanged if I could. You must remember, my love, I am a woman of passion. And with all the passion and venom that's in me, I hate her.
You shut your face, you cow, or I'll shut it for you.
Oh, Harry, please. Oh, for the love of God, don't you understand? I can't go on living like this.
Well, what's wrong with it?
I can't stand this being half married. Always sneaking about, avoiding your friends and mine. What few I have left.
Well, I've been seeing you weekends.
Oh, and I live for those weekends. Those long days between when I want you so. Every blessed day I long for you. You can't understand that, can you? You've never had to live and love by yourself. Oh, I want you near me, Harry.
Well, I'm near you.
I want to love you and have you love me. Harry, I tell you, I can't live like this. I'd rather be dead.
Yeah, that'd help a lot, wouldn't it?
A lot you'd care if I were.
Oh, be sensible, Helen. How many times do I have to explain?
Oh, I'll be sensible, Harry. Don't explain anymore. Sit down, dear. Here, beside me.
Oh, that's more like it.
Darling, I know how things are. The business and all that. And your mother.
Now, don't start harping on my mother again.
I can just see her now, sitting at home, furious. Yes, furious and jealous because she hasn't got her darling little boy by her side.
Helen?
Well, you're no baby, Harry Amor. Neither of us are. You're a grown man, Harry. You can't spend the rest of your life tied to your mother's apron strings.
I'm not tied to her apron strings.
You're a man, a married man with responsibilities. You've got to think of me once in a while.
Oh, I do think of you.
You married me. You've got to love me.
I can tell you one thing I won't do. If you don't stop these hysterical scenes, I'll stop coming around here and...
Stop loving me. Is that what you mean?
Maybe it is.
Is that what you mean, Harry? Oh, please, Harry. Please never stop loving me.
Oh, let go of me. Why don't you get dressed?
Why should I? I'm not going anyplace.
Oh, the trouble with you is you're getting old.
And when a woman gets old, she goes right on loving a man. But the man...
What about him?
Can't even say it. Even though I knew it wasn't true.
What the devil are you talking about?
I just couldn't say that you stopped loving me. Oh, but I did say it, didn't I? And I'll say it again. Harry doesn't love me. Harry doesn't love me. Oh, I wish I were dead.
Oh, for the love of Mike. Don't start that again.
Oh, wait, Harry. I am getting old, Harry. But not as old as your mother. You love her. Oh, can't you love me just a little? Say you do, Harry.
Oh, Helen, you know how the setup is. Mother's given me the best years of her life.
So you've said.
She's done her best to bring me up to be a respectable man, a good citizen.
Yes, you are a good citizen.
She's scrimped and saved to give me everything she could. You wouldn't want me to turn against her now, would you?
No, I understand.
Oh, that's better. Mother's a wonderful woman, Helen. They don't make many like her. I wish you two could hit it off better.
You mean you wish I were more like her? That's it, isn't it, Harry? Isn't it?
Oh, I guess so. Oh, gee, Helen.
Oh, never mind. You just can't grow up, can you?
What are you driving at?
You'll go through the rest of your life probing into the soul of every woman you meet, trying to find your mother there.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, I'm sorry for you, Harry. Truly I am. I wish I'd realized before. Before I fell in love with you. Quite as much as I am.
Well, it's too late now.
Yes. It's too late.
Oh. Everything will be all right, sweetheart.
Oh, you are just a great big baby after all, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
I guess all men are like babies. I guess they all like babies, too. Do you, Harry?
Do I what?
Like babies.
Helen, what are you talking about?
Oh, don't look at me that way.
But why?
Why? Why don't you see, darling? It'll bring us closer together.
No.
It'll mean a home of our own. That you'll be...
No.
You'll be glad to come to. Your baby.
No.
Doesn't that mean anything to you?
No.
Oh, dear God. Not even that. Not even that.
This is a story of a woman's love and her journey through life, of the endless pages of life turning without number, empty, drab, or filled with heartrending loneliness.
Now, don't make a scene here. I can't stand another of your outbursts in public.
You're so glad to get rid of me.
Oh, Helen.
Oh, won't you even... I'll miss you terribly. I dread this trip.
When you come back all right. You understand?
Yes.
Or you'll find yourself on some beach dead.
Dead?
Others have been found that way, you know.
This is you standing there, isn't it? Yes, I know it is. That is your voice, your face. I can't believe I'm hearing you. You, Harry, you were gentle and kind. Like no man ever was before.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, I guess it doesn't matter at that, does it? I feel dead already. As if everything had stopped in my brain. Even that doesn't seem conscious. Only the subconscious seems to work. Tells me to eat, sleep, and walk.
Oh, you'll feel different when you get back.
Harry, will we try things again when I get back?
Oh, sure we will, honey. Hey, the boat's late sailing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll go on board now. No, never mind. I can manage alone. Take care of yourself. And your mother.
This is the story of a woman who sailed out onto a sea of pain and despair, of a woman who sat alone in her stateroom and pressed cold hands against her throbbing head.
Oh, dear God. Please, let me die. I don't want to go mad alone like this. He doesn't love me. Oh, please, please let me die. Oh, Harry, I need you so.
The sea beat restlessly on distant shores, bearing on its breast a restless, hungry heart. Then, as the year neared its end, the woman came back to the man she loved.
This is the third day, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these last 2 days have been wonderful. I'll never forget them.
Me neither.
Whatever may happen to us two from now on, we've had a little while in heaven, haven't we?
Oh, you do things to me, baby.
Harry.
Oh, what's my baby crying about?
Oh, I wish I could forget. Forget all the pain and the loneliness. Things you've said to me.
I'll make you forget.
No, please. I guess I just wasn't meant to be happy. Ever. Even when I'm happiest, the old unhappiness is still there. Part of it.
It'll go away.
Oh, but we'll have marvelous times together from now on. Won't we, darling?
Sure we will.
Darling, let's start the new year right, shall we? Just the two of us. Let's dance. Dance. Oh, I haven't danced in years.
Oh, Helen, I've got something to tell you. Well, why don't you say something?
I know what you're going to say. We're not going to have our New Year's Eve together.
Well, it's not because I don't want to, Helen. I just can't afford it. Finances, you know.
Finances? Harry, you know money doesn't mean a thing to me. I could be just as happy if we went down on Broadway and saw the old year out with the mob that's always down there. That's fun. I did it once.
No, I've got to go down to the Seaside Club. But Mother's decided
that she'd like to go along with you.
Well, naturally. I want her to go along. I thought it might be more pleasant for both of you if...
I sat at home and cried my eyes out while you and your mother enjoyed yourselves. Well, not on your life. I'm going with you.
And Mother?
All right, and your mother. It'll be fun being chaperoned with my own husband.
You breathe a word about that marriage and I'll...
You what? I'm tired of you threatening me.
I'll do more than threaten you if you break my mother's heart by telling her we're married.
Oh, I mustn't break her heart. How about mine? I'm not good enough for you, is that it?
Helen.
She has the best of everything. Even you. I have to take what I can get.
Oh boy, sounds real soap opera-y, doesn't it? And this isn't even a soap opera. Calling All Cars, January 13th, 1939. On Classic Radio Theater, the news from 83 years ago today will come up next, right here on your favorite station. Well, you've heard me talk about Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and how his pillow's given me a great night's sleep. He continues to roll out new offers on his products. His latest on the towel sets. Now, towels aren't something you think about. I never knew what I was missing till I tried the towels last year. You've all helped build MyPillow into the incredible company it is today, and trust in Mike Lindell has given you a better night's sleep. Mike's now changing the game with a 6-piece towel set, USA cotton, extremely absorbent, yet still providing that soft feel you look for in a towel. 2 bath, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths for a limited time, $39.95 using our promo code USA. It retails for over $100. Remember, all MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Square, use this promo code USA to get this price of $39.99 on the towels, or call 1-800-951-8175. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday edition of Classic Radio Theater, an episode of Calling All Cars, as it was originally broadcast Friday, January 13th, 1939. In the newspapers of that Friday, some 83 years ago, these were some of the headlines. An apparently responsive Congress received from President Truman yesterday an urgent request for $552 million emergency fund for more than 3,000 warplanes, additional Navy bases, and other defensive weapons to meet new conditions of warfare. Leaders promised to give the rights of way to an arms expansion program, with the chief executive said changing world conditions made imperative. A Senate Judiciary Subcommittee approved the nomination of Felix Frankfurter to the Supreme Court yesterday after hearing the little Harvard law professor assert his faith in the American Constitution. He did so because for 2 days a procession of witnesses had denounced him as a radical, a communist, a disbeliever in things American, and even in some cases his objection to his confirmation because he is a Jew and was born abroad. In answers to questions, mostly friendly questions from senators who enthusiastically applauded his appointment and wished only to set the record straight, he denied that he was now or ever had been a communist, either by party membership or by inclination. To Senator McCarran, the Nevada Democrat, the only member of the committee who interrogated him with any show of hostility, he asserted, "I do not believe that you have ever taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States with less reservation than I have and would now. Nor do I believe you are more attached to the theories and practices of Americanism than I am. I think I prefer to rest my answer in that form." A startling story of children selling narcotics in the streets of Harlem as openly as though they were selling apples, and with a good deal more success, told last night by Treasury Department officials, and the indictment of 17 persons was disclosed in New York City. Among those charged with conspiracy and sale of narcotics was Carlos Cubella, a steward aboard the steamer Santa Maria, which returned Secretary of State Cordell Hull and his party from the Pan American Conference in Lima, Peru. Major Garland Williams, chief of the Narcotics Division, said conditions in the populous Negro and Latin American section of Manhattan were atrocious and an eye-opener to his agents. Frank A. Craven, former deputy warden of the Philadelphia County Prison, convicted of involuntary manslaughter last night for the deaths of 4 convicts last summer in superheated punishment cells. The conviction carries a possible penalty of 18 months to 3 years imprisonment. A jury of 7 men and 5 women deliberated 3 hours. They ignored the prosecution's request for a second-degree murder verdict. Dr. Gordon E. Morloff, a principal in the dramatic Sonny Boy custody fight in 1936, killed yesterday in his building in suburban Willamette, Illinois. A vengeful assailant felled him with a bullet through the chest, then sprinted to the street, leapt in a car, and drove away. Dr. Floyd McGrath, who has a second-floor suite above the corridor from Dr. Mordoff's quarters, told the police he heard a shot, and Dr. Mordoff ran into the McGrath reception room with gunmen pursuing him, firing as both ran. And Associated Press science writer Howard W. Blakesley writes about a new type of atom smasher, a radio gun. The first 1939 scientific achievement to come from college laboratories announced by Cornell University. The gun is a glass tube, 8 feet long, 6 inches in diameter. Its interior a vacuum in which shortwave radio power drives lighter heavy atoms so that they attain speeds of thousands of miles a second. This makes it an atomic cannon, firing projectiles at other atoms for the purpose of disintegrating their nuclei. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Friday, January 13th, 1939. On your radio, Calling All Cars. The conclusion next on Classic Radio Theater.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a health care plan you don't like, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. They'll waive your new member fee if you join by January 15th. So that's $170 in addition to all the other savings. The typical family saves $500 or more per month. And MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. Again, join by January 15th and save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Espionage in Friday's Classic Radio Theater. Don McLaughlin Mandel Kramer, an episode of Counterspy from 71 years ago, January 14th, 1951, in the case of the captured contact. That's coming up on Friday's Classic Radio Theater, but now the conclusion of Calling All Cars, January 13th, 1939.
I have to take what I can get. What you choose to give me. Not on your life. If we're going to share you, it's going to be equally.
You keep quiet.
Your mother's such a wonderful woman. She'll be glad to see her son married and happy. Hey, what are you doing in my purse? What are you looking for?
This. I've got it.
My marriage license. Give me that. Oh, Harry, please, don't take it away from me.
Well, I've got it, haven't I?
Please, that's all I have in the world I value. It's the only thing that keeps us together.
You're telling me.
Harry, don't burn that license.
It won't hold us together anymore.
I'll get it back. I'll get it back.
Get away from that fire. You'll burn yourself. Stop it.
Good. You burned it.
Yeah.
It was our bond, Harry.
Yeah. It's gone. Now you haven't any proof, even if you do tell my mother.
Do you think for a minute she wouldn't believe me? She'd know. She'd believe me. I will tell her. I'll make her believe. And I'll tell her tonight. We'll start the new year right.
You remember the gun in my car? I'll get that gun and I'll kill you with it. Do you hear me? I'll kill you.
Oh, no, you won't. You won't kill me, Mama's boy. You don't dare. You haven't got what it takes to kill anybody. You've never scared me before with your threats, and you're not scaring me now. Mama's boy wouldn't kill anybody.
No? You think I won't?
Stop yelling at me, little boy. Your mother will find it out.
Oh, please, Ellen. You don't understand Mother. Why'd it break her heart to find out I'd gotten married without telling her? I've always told her everything wrong I've ever done. Except when I married you. It'd break her heart.
Well, then let it. You broke mine. I break hers. It's a fair exchange.
Oh, Helen, sweet, I love you. I love you so much. Try to feel a little pity for me. I want to stay with you. I want to lead a normal life, but I can't. I can't leave Mother, and I can't tell her we're married so we can all live together.
Oh, I might have had pity on you once, but not now.
Helen, I'll kill myself.
Go ahead. Get the gun out of the car. The one you were going to use on me. Go ahead. Am I stopping you? I'd be free then. Then I could go on living. Harry. Harry, let me go.
Oh, I love you, Helen.
Harry. Oh, Harry, hold me tight.
Oh, darling.
Oh, I've loved you too much.
The hours passed. The year sped towards its end. Harry's mother, dressed in her best, sat proudly beside her son in his car, proudly indeed. Together, as through the long years, they faced the new year. Meanwhile, a taxicab bore the woman through the carnivalesque streets to her husband's club.
Good evening, Mrs. Armour. Happy New Year.
Good evening, Helen.
Where's Harry?
I don't know.
You tell me where he is.
He'll be right back.
I'll wait.
Me do as you like.
Thank you, I will. Just who do you think you are, taking Harry away from me?
Please be quiet.
I won't be quiet. I'll broadcast it to the whole world.
Be quiet,
I want the whole world to know. Here sits a selfish mother. What's Harry doing here with you? He promised to take me out tonight.
I'm his mother.
Yes, you're his mother. Isn't that wonderful? Well, I'm his wife. What do you think of that?
You're lying.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Please, don't make a scene.
I'll make a scene here if I want to.
Can't you wait till tomorrow?
Tomorrow will be too late. I want to finish the old year right. Start the new year with a bang.
Helen, what are you doing
I
here?
have a perfect right to be here, haven't I? Well, haven't I?
Come on, you're going home.
Oh, please. Please don't send me away. I want to be with you.
Come on.
Please. Let me stay with you, Harry.
You got that gun?
What gun?
The gun from my car.
Well, what makes you think I've got the gun?
Helen, I could kill you.
Really? How nice.
Give me that gun.
Harry, please come outside.
Well, what do you want?
Oh, darling, I'm sorry I acted like that. Please don't send me away. You hurt me so when you tore up the license and burned it. I just sort of went crazy, I guess.
I've hurt you. What do you think you've done to my mother? Now get in that cab.
Where shall I go?
I don't care where you go, so long as it's away from here. Now, give me that gun.
Harry, wait. Let me go home with you, please, Harry. I'll be good. I'll love your mother. I'll be good to her. We'll be happy.
No.
No? Well, then let me wait for you. I'll wait right here. I won't even go into the club. I'll be quiet. Oh, let me wait for you.
No.
Then take your mother home and then come back. We'll be happy together again.
Let go of me. I'm through with you. From now on, I'm no more married to you than anyone else, you common little...
Harry.
Wait a minute. Give me that gun.
I haven't got it.
Don't lie to me. Give it to me.
Harry, you hit me. You leave me alone.
You give me that gun.
Go away. You can't have it. Harry, go away.
Helen.
Come back.
Helen.
Come back. Come back, Harry. Don't run away from me. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to, Harry. Come
Get back down those stairs where you belong, you little tramp.
This is the story of a woman in love. The pages turn, the new year is written in blood, and from the stained pages of her memory she tells her story to a jury of her peers. But the jury did not believe her story. They found her guilty of murder. The matron led her back to her cell.
Don't feel too badly, dear.
Thank you, matron. I have nothing to worry about. I don't have to go to prison, you know. I'll never go. I can die whenever I want to. I can will myself to death.
Oh, it affects some of them in strange ways.
The verdict had indeed affected the woman in a strange way. These were the torn and frayed pages of her life with ragged edges. Desperately, her mind strove to erase the half-conscious events before the crime and the sordid, bitter days that followed. Her brain was weary of the fight for life and freedom. Frantically, she plunged along the corridors of her mind into the corners of her consciousness, seeking some magic word that would kill forever the monster of her memory. And even sleep fled from her.
Trusty! Trusty! That elevator elevator's driving me crazy.
So we should walk so you can sleep, huh, Princess?
Oh, no. No, I'm going insane. Don't you see? Please. Oh, please, shut the door. Thank you. Thank you, Trusty. I should say, thank you, Trusty, out loud. No, I'm too tired. Sleep. I'm so sleepy. My eyes are shut. When the door opens, my eyes will open. I'll be awake then. I want to sleep. I won't let you open the door. I will the door stay shut.
By one of the strangest quirks of mental process ever recorded in a California court, the woman was shut off from the world. The matron remembered she had threatened to will herself to death. The trustee recalled her last words.
I'm going insane, don't you see? Shut the door, please.
But sane or mad, living, or near the limbo of the dead, the woman lay on her cot in the hospital ward of the jail. She would not awake. The time for her sentence arrived. Judges, attorneys, attachés crowded the little room, massed themselves around the bed, towered above the unconscious form.
I've been here many a year, but I never saw anything like this before. Sometimes they were such dopes they didn't know they were being sentenced. Sometimes they fainted. But this...
It's a little bit unusual, but... well, the court will come to order.
I don't think this is legal. Is this legal?
The defendant being present, the...
Unsure of the legality of passing sentence on one who heard, said, and saw nothing, the judge decided to await developments. Doctors and alienists were summoned. Newsboys screamed headlines. Editors exploited the case till the original issue of her guilt was lost beneath some math of paper and print. Doctors made elaborate plans for the awakening. This time with stenographers scrawling, pads on knees, men carrying cameras, big and small, flashes and floodlights tried for placement, sound equipment installed. All other patients were removed from the little hospital ward to make room for the performance for the newsreels. The woman's bed was moved so that the actors would be within camera range. Meanwhile, in the agonized recesses of the woman's brain, the story of her life continued its movement before her in retrospect.
I love him. I loved him. I didn't name it Harry. I loved him. He was gentle and kind. He found me. He took me like the love you, even in your staid and stolid ways of dream, would take you. You have lain upon a lonely bed and dreamed, I know. Those are eyes that have known pain. Look at me. Remember your pain. And think of the pain in me. The loneliness, the ache, the pain that came to me in love. Hungrily, passionately, always I wanted a love that would give me release from myself. I wanted to strip my soul of all my years of living. I wanted to stand beside a depthless pool of love and dive. A clean-cut dive into its silver water. Lose myself beneath the shining surface. Immerse myself in my love. The fault was his. It was no fault of mine. He was weak. He loved his mother too much to love me enough. But weak or strong, I love him. And I need him.
Helen, I'm knocking. Knocking at that door. Let me in, Helen. I'm going to get in through that door. Open it for me, Helen.
Oh, they're at the door again. And now they're stronger than I.
Open, Helen.
And I must go back.
Open the door.
Oh, Harry. My love. My love.
Her eyes are open. She's trying to talk.
Harry. Harry.
Dr. Marcus, the sound equipment. We can't pick it up.
Louder, Helen. Louder.
Harry. Harry. Oh, my love. My lost love. Water.
Here you are, Helen.
Oh, thank you.
You're awake now, Helen. You want to stay, don't you? Or would you rather go back?
I want to go back. Let me go back, please. I haven't done anything wrong. Oh, let me go back. Please. Let me go back.
just a moment, Chief Dice of Santa Monica will conclude our program. Meanwhile, friends, remember this, that if you want your car to last longer and run better, use Riolube, the heat-defying, cold-resisting motor oil. And if you want maximum power, quick starting, and money-saving mileage, use Rio Grande Cracked, the gasoline that is justly noted for its real police car performance. And now, Chief Dice.
However much our sympathies may go out to Helen Wills, we must keep in mind that she took a human life, for which there is no justification. She was sentenced to Tehachapi Prison, where she is now learning the bitterness of the lesson that crime does not pay. It is interesting to note also that only a few weeks ago, a Superior Court ruling was handed down stating that her marriage was not legal in California.
Thank you, Chief Dice.
Santa Monica Police calling all cars, attention all cars, a cancellation of broadcast 268 regarding a disturbance. Suspect in this case are now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
The character of Helen Wills Amour on tonight's program was played by Lorene Tuttle. Next week at this time, Rio Grande will present The Case of the Azure Ring. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
January 13th, 1939, calling all cars on Classic Radio Theater. Got a nice email from David from Keokuk, Iowa, who listens to us on 105.1 FM WGEM in Quincy, Illinois, saying he listens to the program as an avid talk radio listener. Your knowledge and commentary regarding the golden age of radio history is very interesting and educational. The This Day in History and newspaper headlines is like being in a history classroom. Having been born in 1954, your programs let me travel back in time to see the America my parents knew and loved. Thank you for your dedication and the excellent service you provide. Best wishes and continued success for a happy and healthy 2022. Thank you, David. If you'd like to drop me a note, you can do it. ClassicRadio.stream. That is ClassicRadio.stream. I look forward to hearing from you. You miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. Find our programs anywhere on demand, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can also find us on CastBox and all sorts of places, including Spotify and Spreaker. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have a great day. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.